beaten in the one-day series against India A. Lost that 4-1. For the Indian A team, remember they've got their senior team in the Caribbean already. Well, in the United States, getting ready for that T20 series this weekend. But they've also made a few changes. Mayank Agarwal comes in together with Anmol Preet Singh, and Sandeep Warrior is going to do a bit of work in the fast bowling department. Interestingly, they've left out Shabazz Nadeem, who was their match winner from the first test. With that 6-wicket victory, he picked up 10 wickets in the match. Don't find it too often that you've taken 10 wickets, won a match for your team, and you've been left out. But as we've said before, the Indian seniors are also in the region, and there'll be some focus there as well. Good to know that we've got bright sunshine, because we are at a time of the year where it tends to be quite rainy, quite torrential. The weather forecast is hinting at that there might be some issues with showers over the course of the next 4 days. But let's hope for bright cricket, bright weather for the action to get underway. The Indians out in the middle, and they'll be looking for early success. And the man who was assessing the pitch and having a good look at the pitch is with me now here in commentary. Samuel Badri, twice a champion with the West Indies in the World T20, so he knows all about delivering on the big stage. Sammy, good to have you with us as you read the pitch. Will it be challenging for Brathwaite and company?
Good morning, Faz, and good morning to all our viewers here in the West Indies and indeed throughout the world. It was a bit surprising that Craig Brathwaite, having won the toss, decided to bat. It has always been the case here at the Queen's Park Oval. The first morning, always a bit challenging, but he's facing up the first delivery. Having won the toss, he would like to make good on that. Get a good score, get a good foundation here for the West Indies A team in this, the second unofficial test match. The West Indies team looking to square the series.
Monson Hodge also opened the batting in the first test. He got scores of 16 and 36. I want to get a few more here. So we're underway at Queen's Park Oval. As you would expect, attacking field in place with the red balls, not white ball cricket anymore. And we've seen Indian cricket growing by leaps and bounds with the introduction of a number of really outstanding fast and fast medium bowlers. Mohammad Siraj using the new ball for India A. And they really have come along over the years. Gone are the days when you'd have those bowlers just to take a shine off the ball before the specialist spinners came on. I was going to say sandpaper bowlers, but you've got to be careful talking about sandpaper these days.
Excellent delivery there from Siraj. He's a traditional outswing bowler. Going up against Craig Brathwaite, who is one who is very patient and knows exactly where his off stump is. So he leaves alone quite a lot of deliveries. Siraj will be probing just on or about that off stump line, trying to get those guys in the slip cordon and the gully into play. But like you mentioned, Faz, it has to do with the quality of pitches produced in India now. No longer are they producing dust bowls there. When you go across for the IPL and other tournaments, quite a lot of grass on these pitches. So the fast bowlers are encouraged to really ply their trades. Long ago, it was spinners who would be operating essentially from both ends with the new ball. Now, a lot of fast bowlers are coming through, and it has to do with the pitches that they are producing there now.
And we're seeing that in the West Indies of late as well. The last couple of series that we've had in the Caribbean, some greener pitches that would have encouraged the faster bowlers, and I think that's good for Caribbean cricket, for world cricket, where the fast bowlers have a fighting chance. We've seen that in the Cricket World Cup just ended as well, where it was thought that that would be a tournament. You'd have scores of 400, closer to 500. And look at that final, that pulsating final. Scores of just 240 odd. Off and away. Typical Craig Brathwaite. Just a little push to get us going.
End of the first over.
months when players Few more adjustments in the field. The third slip has been put out towards cover. Fine leg in place. But yeah, that's a very relevant point that you make, because even as we're speaking, we've got the Rising Stars tournament that is underway in St. Vincent, the under-19s, rebranded as the Rising Stars, most appropriate because they are the future of West Indies cricket. And we all know, of course, of the success in Bangladesh in 2016. The team that so famously defeated India in that final to lift the title. Some of them have come on through to the senior ranks. Shimron Hetmaya, Alzari Joseph. Another excellent delivery, but just can't get the edge. Still survives. 14 without loss at the end of the over.
Perfect outswinger there from Warrior. Unfortunately, he's not getting any luck his way. Monson Hodge and Craig Brathwaite holding firm here at the Queen's Park Oval for the West Indies A team, trying to lay a foundation for a big score in the first innings here at the Queen's Park Oval. Craig Brathwaite has a tendency to forget about the last delivery, so even if you have beaten his outside edge, he forgets about that, focuses on the next delivery. And that's the art of a good batsman. Forgot what went past and concentrate on the next delivery.
Well, that was right in his arc. He's get 4, his first boundary. And he didn't really have to do much. Quietly efficient.
That's exactly what Craig is waiting for. A ball right under his nose. Just a little shimmy forward. Full face of the bat. In the gap. 4 runs. Good result there for him. So he's just going to wear you down and wait for your bad deliveries. Next delivery, focuses on that. If it's outside off stump, he's just going to leave it alone. Good smart batting here from Craig.
And that's where it's sort of like that chess game, isn't it? Because Brathwaite won 2 deliveries before because he got the bowler, in this case Mohammad Siraj, to get closer and closer to him, close enough, because he was leaving everything, and even the one going past the outside edge, and he got too close. He was able to push him away for 4. Now as the bowler, you've got to revert to that good line to draw him into the shot, to get that outside edge.
Another full delivery, 2 full this time on leg stump. Worked away on the one side. Craig will pick up another 2. And when you talk about patience, Faz, a lot of time we talk about patience as a batsman, being able to concentrate for long periods of time. But as a bowler too, you need to be patient. And especially when you come up against someone like Craig, you don't want to be drawn into his game plan. You just want to be consistent on your lines and length and make him play an injudicious shot or force him to make a mistake. So I think Siraj here is not being patient enough with Craig. He's trying to be a little bit fuller than what you'd expect from him.
Getting a bit adventurous, Craig Brathwaite. Almost as if he was reaching for that delivery just a bit. But he is very much a player who recognizes his limitations. He's been around for almost a decade now at senior international level. We often overlook that because he's not yet 30. Made his senior test debut in 2011. And it just reinforces your point about A-team cricket being so important. In his case, he really wants to get back into the groove for this A-team, then for the senior team when the test matches come around against India A, For other players, it's a developmental phase. They want to put their name up in lights to let the selectors notice them.
Good delivery to end the over. 22 without loss after nine overs. West Indies A team. Good start here, good solid start. Exactly what they would be looking for after having won the toss and electing to bat first.
Very importantly for the West Indies, no wickets lost. Some testing bowling from Warrior and Siraj. Really enjoyed this morning session, especially hearing Samuel Badri unplugged with his comments about sledging and white ball cricket and so on. Well, I'm sure we're going to get even more entertainment now with Vidya Ramphal alongside Samuel.
Thank you very much, Paz. So Samuel, great to have you on board, the World Cup winner. And it's, I can't imagine you doing any sledging, Samuel.
I've never actually engaged in any sledging video, but I've been part of teams that have done it. Of course, I was feeling way on the boundary, so never part of that.
I could imagine Dave Mohammed being urging you into that.
It's a part of the game. As long as you don't get personal, you talk about your technique, you could talk about not scoring runs and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's something that's been used for a long period of time as Warrior strives to get a breakthrough here for the India A team. Coming up against two batsmen who are quite resolute in terms of being prepared to leave alone those deliveries that are outside the off stump.
And one just got stuck in the pads of Bonson Hodge. And opportunity for him in this match to make a claim towards the West Indies team. Craig Brafford has been a fixture at the top of the West Indies batting. However, the second person has been a little bit of a lottery.
Yeah, and rightly so. So it's a perfect opportunity for Monson to get some runs just before that test team is named. No time like now for him to score and stake a claim for selection there.
And even Craig Brafford would want to get himself back into some form. He hasn't been in the greatest of form recently. He had that wonderful test match against Pakistan a few seasons ago. And in that test match, Samuel, I'm sure you'll remember, he became the only batsman in test history to come out unbeaten in both innings. But he has been fairly patchy of late in terms of his form.
This is an ideal opportunity for him to get back in that sort of form that you expect from Craig Brathwaite. This test match at the Queen's Park Oval, followed by the third one at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
End of the over, 20 without loss, West Indies A. Quiet start for the West Indies A team here at the Queen's Park Oval. And Craig Brafford has been leading the charge. Monson Hodge has done his business so far. But the Indian bowlers have done their part in this contest, Samuel, just keeping it outside of the off stump largely throughout the morning. Some testing periods, but the batsmen have adapted themselves well. And if the first hour is any indicator of what we're going to see in this match, Samuel, it is going to go the distance, perhaps.
And that's what you want to see in this version of the cricket. Batsmen applying themselves, bowlers having to work hard to get the wickets. So it's a good contest. It's not a bat is not dominating the ball is not dominating the bat. So it's an equal challenge. And you want to see guys really applying themselves for long periods of time and not just getting to a quick 20 or a quick 30, but really going the distance. You want to see the bowlers trying different strategies, different deliveries, really working on their trades here. It's all about development at this stage at the West Indies A team and the India A team before they go the next step.
And talking about strategies, 2 of the slips have disappeared. First sign of any change here as Shivam Dubey is in. And he is one of the up-and-coming bowlers out of Mumbai, 26-year-old. And shows some athleticism. Jumping up to collect that one. He's easily 6 feet, Samuel. This is going to be a real proposition. Siraj, in fact, continuing.
Not a good delivery there. Challenging the technique of Craig. He's prepared to just stick it out. Having won the toss as the captain, he'd want to lead the way. Show how it's done to the younger players on this West Indies A team. Application, concentration, the art of batting here on display.
What a batsman that Craig Braffett has been for over the years for the West Indies. When you think of West Indies batsmen, Sam, you'll think of those flashing blades, Brian Lara, Viv Richards, Lawrence Rowe and all the rest. But in between those successful West Indies teams, there were the batsmen who were able to grit it out, show a lot of guts and gumption. And if the West Indies are to create a team like that, Craig Braffett, you sense, is that type of batsman.
You're right, Vidya. At the end of 11 overs, 20 without loss to West Indies A. And the famous Shivner and Chandler Paul springs to mind as someone who was able to grit it out and bat during those difficult and testing periods. And he would have batted around the great Brian Lara and all those flashy batsmen and sometimes go unnoticed. But at the end of the day, he would have gotten the job done for the team. And in any format, even if it's 50 over or T20 cricket, you need someone who can actually bat for a long period of time. Test match cricket, we have Craig Brathwaite right now.
And Craig would have batted with Chandapol at some points. Shivam Dubey, tall man out of Mumbai, the 26-year-old, getting his opportunity in this particular match. And he's an all-rounder, Samuel. He made his big impression last year in local cricket in a Mumbai T20 when he hit 5 sixes in an over.
Yeah, he would have gotten a half century as well in the first game in Antigua. So someone who can bat as well, and something that we've seen becoming more common, Vidya, in cricket. Bowlers are no longer just specialist bowlers. Even in Test cricket, bowlers are able to score runs, and you can no longer rely on just being a one-dimensional player, a bowler or a batsman. You have to be able to bat and bowl, or bowl and bat, and of course fielding is a must.
Dubey 71 in that win for India A in a total of 312, and his batting with Riddhiman Saha when he got 66 certainly did pull India out of the fire. And it is an important aspect of the game to get the bowlers to score some runs. We would have remembered Steve Waugh and his team. He would have paired himself with one of the fast bowlers, teaching them to play a few shots. Even Glenn McGrath got a 30-odd in Test cricket.
Excellent delivery there from Dubey, forcing Munson Hodge to play at that one and leaving him at the last minute because he was holding the line. Munson Hodge playing close to his body, did not edge that delivery. It's good technique there from Munson, not following the delivery, just held the line, didn't follow the delivery, hence no edge. Good technique there from him, playing close to his body.
Moral victory here for the bowler. The first change of the morning almost bringing some fruits here for India A. Quiet start, quiet morning in Port of Spain, not usual for the capital city of Trinidad, where everything tends to happen. End of the over, 20 without loss, and that was a probing over from Dubey.
Good height. Because of his height, he's able to extract some bounce, hitting some good areas, forcing Munson Hodge to play on a couple of occasions and missing the delivery, fortunately for him. But yeah, Vidya, it's also the school holidays here in Trinidad. You'd expect to see some school children, maybe later on, coming down to the Oval to look at the West Indies A coming up against the India A.
It's also a holiday in Trinidad tomorrow, Emancipation Day, which for our viewers in India would represent the holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the West Indies. An important holiday here in the West Indies. Several islands do in fact celebrate Emancipation Day. Warrior continues his sixth over, and it's important to manage the work of the bowlers in this format, especially in the weather conditions. 32 degrees predicted today, Samuel, and you want to keep your bowlers on for maybe just about 5 overs or so.
You want to exploit the conditions in the first morning, the first session, so they get an extended run. Strain on the leg side there, and it will go for 4 buys. Badly line delivery there. Wicketkeeper trying his utmost best, unable to reel it in. 4 extras there for the West Indies A.
Because of the approach of Craig Braffett, you would want, as a bowler, to change your strategy, at least try to get him play at something. And perhaps that was an attempt to spear one in at the feet of Craig Braffett. Didn't quite go to plan. It's one thing we've seen from the pitch already, Samuel. The bounce has been pretty good. The keepers appreciate that. That time the keeper just collecting it in front of his face almost.
It's a nice covering of grass. There's good bounce and carry. Should be good batting pitch over the next couple of days as well once it settles down. But you don't want to stray from your plan as a bowler to Craig, because that's exactly what he's waiting for. Shot there from Craig Brathwaite. Good drive through the offside. May not get all the way to the boundary. Reeling just at the edge of the boundary, coming back for the 3rd. Good shot there from Craig.
Got within a 3-foot putt of the boundary. Exactly where he wants it, Craig Braffett. But it's been very rainy here in Port of Spain over the past few days. And certainly in better conditions, that would have flown to the boundary. So the West Indies making 5 changes. Braffett, Ambrose, Dorridge, Reefer and Romario Shepherd included for this one. Jeremy Solozano, very similar in his approach to Craig Braffett, has made way. Roston Chase, Cummings, Hamilton and Lewis out for this one. Wonder if you can read anything into that. May Lewis get a shout in the test match? All that remains to be seen. End of the over, and the highest scoring over of the young innings so far. 27 without loss, West Indies A. India made some changes themselves. Gill, Saha and Nadeem coming off. Gill, in fact, was talking after the India team was announced to come to the Caribbean. He was very disappointed that he wasn't named in any of the teams. But he's an exciting prospect for India, the 19-year-old. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of him in the future.
I saw him in the IPL. Got an opportunity to open bat for KKR. And he really excelled in that tournament. His name popping up as a really good talent. Young Shubman Gill. Someone who has a lot of potential, loads of potential. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him in the India senior team very soon.
I'm sure we will. 10 first-class matches. He averages over 75 already. That's remarkable stuff. And has already scored 307 50s in that time. So the singles continue to trickle in here for Craig Braffett and Monson Hodge. Just 2 boundaries so far in the innings. I'm sure India A must be reasonably pleased with what has happened so far. They haven't allowed West Indies A to get off to a rocketing start here. But maybe 1 or 2 ticks in the wicket column would have made them a bit happier.
Excellent delivery there from Shivam Dubey. I think just going over the off stump. Monson Hodge playing down the wrong line of that delivery. Fortunately for him, wasn't able to hit the stump. Just over the top of off stump there, Vidya.
Just over, and luckily for Hodge, had that hit the stumps, it would have remained on YouTube for some time.
Shivam Dubey already showing that he has the ability to move the ball away from the right-handed batsman. Some good lines, some good lengths. It's good height as well.
Batsmen have looked reasonably untroubled for the morning, but all of a sudden we've seen Hodge has been troubled in the last 2 overs from Dubey. And as that has happened, the slips have started to trickle back in. They're smelling the blood in the water here, India A.
They'll be clamoring for a breakthrough. Look, first morning, you want the fast bowlers to get into the thick of things.
He's getting a lot of movement here, Dubey. And Hodge has he's been in the wars here in the last 12 balls or so against the big man from Mumbai. But there may be a change coming on the other end. Warrior has bowled 2 overs, I believe, from this end. And is the captain now pondering a change? End of the over, West Indies A, 28th without loss, and that is the first water break of the match. And Samuel Badri is going to leave us, and joining us in just a moment, Marissa Aguilera, the former West Indies and the Trinidad and Tobago women's team captain.
Hello to everyone.
Nice to have you here with us, Marissa.
Nice to be here. Lovely sunshine in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago.
And for those who don't know, Marissa retired from international cricket earlier this year. And you did say in an interview that there were things coming up. I guess this is one of them. Your commentary career has started.
Well, you know, it's always good to give a little trials on something. And this is something that I've always wanted to do. So I'm here today, hoping to make the best of it.
So India A have kept the West Indies down to 28 runs in the first hour's play. What have you made of the pitch so far?
Well, as Samuel Badri mentioned, you know, it had a bit of moisture in the pitch, and what West Indies will be looking to do is to make sure and spend as long period of time in the wicket. I think that is the area that the players have been lacking in, you know, not really trying to spend long period of time in the wicket. So, I mean, having their captain back, Craig, who is leading the way right now, I think that will be, you know, a good step in the right direction for the team.
If anybody's going to occupy the crease, it's going to be Craig Braffett.
Definitely. I think he's one of the players who will stay there and really, you know, spend a lot of time. So it's all about making sure that, you know, he lead from the front, and I think he has been doing that. So, I mean, hopefully that it will continue.
Craig Braffett 13, Monson Hodge 11, and Braffett and Hodge just getting the 1-4 in there. It's a very slow outfield. And in terms of the bowling, 5 overs for Siraj. Warrior has 6, and Dubey has bowled 3 so far, but he's looked the most dangerous bowler for the morning. and he's looked very testing. He's produced some testing deliveries, especially to Monson Hodge.
I think the India A team will be looking forward to taking some wickets. I mean, the West Indies, they have been doing an extremely good job at this point in time and really spending some time in the crease. But India A should be stepping up their game and thinking of some strategy where they can get Craig out because, I mean, the more he spend there, I think it will be more difficult for them. So it's all about making sure that they get some strategies ready and some planning to make sure that they take some wickets.
Talking about planning, India are planning to make a change here. So just going through the motions of getting the field right.
Yes, boy!
Queen's Park Oval has always been a venue many have felt will take some spin.
Yeah, I think it have grown within the time where, you know, the fast bowlers are getting a lot out of the pitch, but it's also known for good spinners.
And the first shot in anger for the morning. That is a boundary, overpitched and dealt with properly. 4 runs for Craig Brathwaite.
And that's the danger of Craig Brathwaite, because I think, you know, he will be looking to stay there and make sure that he can spend a long period of time in the crease for his team and look to, you know, accelerate as the day goes on.
Gautam is the new bowler, 30-year-old out of Karnataka.
Oh, very well bowled, Lovely buddy.
So as we predicted, the change has been made. Spin is introduced for the first time today.
Go! Lovely, lovely boys!
Very experienced is Gautam, 33 first-class matches. 116 wickets to go with it.
Well done, yeah.
And how India A will be hoping that he gets number 117 very soon. End of the over. West Indies A 32 without loss.
So at this point in time, I think India A captain will be having a lot of thought process in what direction he will be heading, because, I mean, at this point in time, you really need to be taking some wickets. You can't afford to let the opening partnership go on for much longer.
Now the skipper Bihari would be seeing Dubey as the man to make the breakthrough right now. He's looked very dangerous against Hodge. And Hodge will face another testing 5 deliveries, I'm sure, here. And as a skipper yourself, Marissa, you're seeing a batsman struggling against your bowler. You know that he is in the later part of his spell. You keep him on for another over. You're going to give him 2 more. What would be your take here?
Yeah, well, I will go to the bowl and find out exactly how he is feeling and see how much he can go because I mean if he's given the batter trouble, I would love to have him on for 2 overs again, so to see if we can pick up a wicket because it's really crucial at this point in time.
Problem might be to get the ball away from him, especially if he's looking likely to take the wicket.
And looking at Hodge in the first test, he's really strong off the legs. And what the India team is doing right now, they are trying to keep the ball on the off stump. So to give him a bit of some concern, because they have the seal, the field set properly for what the bowler is bowling. So, hopefully they can cause some trouble and get Hodge out, caught in slip.
Well, they almost did the trick there, India. Forced into a false stroke, but that has flown over slip for 4.
Yeah, I think he went a bit too wide on that occasion. And I think basically the bowler is compensating so much because that is looking at the plan that India is set forward is that they will be trying to bowl Hodge outside of off stump. So I think he compensated a little too much and giving Hodge a lot of width to take it over to third man.
And sometimes putting that after a period of sustained pressure, just having that ball outside the off stump, that release ball, as they like to call it, might actually produce a wicket. It almost did there. And as Hodge would have played the shot, you could have almost seen him pull the back away from it after it made contact, as if to suggest he was in two minds with that shot.
Yeah, I think at that point in time, the ball, got a extra bounce. So, I mean, we are here and we are